and a big cargo plane came over, dropped all those chutes, and one landed right in front of us, and we ran out and we were cutting the cords, and an engineer, young kid, a little corporal, manning the drop zone, fired his .45 in the air and came running over and said, "What the hell are you doing? What are you people doing here? You have no business being here." And David said, I said to him, we need a parachute. And he said, "You're not going to get a parachute. We can't give you a parachute." And he said, and we said, "No." And he said, "No, and you already cut the cords. I could have you guys court-martialed, arrested or whatever." And David's father worked for Seagram's, makes whiskey. And David already had received 3 small bottles of whiskey the week before, and he had 1 left. And he reached into his jungle pocket and he said to the kid, "I'll give you this for the parachute." And the kid went, "Okay," and he gave us the parachute. And we had this 200-pound piece of silk cloth or whatever it was draped over our tent, and we were the 2 warmest, snuggest bugs in a rug on the Khe Sanh Plateau. Really, we were. Everybody hung around our tent. We were like the drop-in center. Everybody would come by to want to stay in our tent. Myself and a guy who just put his last daughter through Ball State in Indiana. His name is Willie Jones. He's from Gary, Indiana. And finally, in my last presentation to high school kids this year, I was able to say his daughter graduated last week from Ball State. But, I could say this to Barry, and I'll say it to you guys. I love the picture. Go on, I love the kid. But this is typical of what you're in the field. When you're in the rear, it's all polished. Shirts are tucked in. Boots are polished. Belt has to be lined up. When you're up where the fighting is going to be, you can wear whatever the hell you want. And what are they going to do? Send you away? Take you away from the fighting? They can't. So I'm wearing jungle boots, jungle pants, green t-shirt, high school ring, Timex watch. I've shortened my dog tag chain. I got another dog tag down on my bootlace. A lot of guys would do that. Willie's wearing some, jungle pants, some sort of shirt, military, and a pair of goofy-ass rubber boots that he stole from somewhere. That's not something he was issued. And if he was in Camp Carroll or Da Nang, they tell him, "You can't wear those boots, and Mannion, tuck your shirt in and put a jungle jacket on." But when you're up where it's going to be, wear whatever you want. No one can tell you any different. They can't. Otherwise, if you got taken away because you wore poor clothing, everybody wear poor clothing. Yeah, right, fine. Take me away. This is right around Christmas, people hanging around our tent. There's Willie right there. Never known he was going to have two boys and 2 girls in his married life later on, put them all through college. And this is my sadder picture. This is Malcolm O on the left, who's going to die on 861, and that's David on the right. David was wounded. He got nicked just above the heart by a piece of shrapnel, and he was medevaced out, and he died 2.5 years later as a civilian in Baltimore, Maryland, of a major heart attack. I'm sure it was caused by the damage that was done when he was wounded. Malcolm O was killed on 861, trying to save the life of a North Vietnamese soldier. But this is, as an English teacher, I would say to kids, this is foreshadowing. They're both kind of leaning hard into that cold wind, and you are looking at ghosts there. This is stupid picture. Come on.
Now, if you see something that's interesting, be sure to shout out.
Okay, well, yeah.
Like, for example,